Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle something that's a huge part of how we talk every day, the present tense. Now, you might think it's simple, but English actually gives us four really powerful ways to describe the now. Ready to get a handle on all of them? Awesome, let's jump right in. So let me ask you this. Just take a second. When you're talking about what's happening this very moment, or what you do every day, or just things that are true, how many different ways do you actually have to say that? The answer might surprise you. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the basics. What even is the present tense? Then we'll look at the static now, the most common forms. After that, we'll get into the connected now, where the past meets the present. And we'll wrap it all up by truly mastering the moment. All right, first things first. Before we can get into the nitty-gritty, we have to be on the same page about what the present really means in grammar. Let's lay that foundation. Think of the present tense as your main toolkit for describing the world as it is right now. It covers everything, from what's happening in this very second to those big universal truths like the sun rises in the east. It's how we talk about facts, habits, and reality. And here it is, the answer to that first question. There are four distinct types of present tense in English. You can think of each one as a different camera lens that gives you a totally unique view of the present moment. Okay, so let's dive into our first section. We're going to start with the two most common forms, the ones I like to call the static now. These are your bread and butter tenses for talking about the present in a really direct way. First up is the present simple. This is your wide-angle lens. It doesn't get bogged down in a single fleeting moment. It captures a whole big picture. We use it for things that happen all the time or are just generally true. Your daily routine, I go to school. Your habits, she writes a letter. Simple as that. Now, here's a super important little detail you gotta remember. It's called subject-verb agreement. For a singular subject, like he, she, or it, the verb needs a little S on the end. Think of them like best friends. They have to match. So I go, but he goes. They play, but she plays. It seems small, but wow, it is absolutely crucial for sounding natural. Okay, next up is the present continuous. If the present simple was our wide-angle lens, this is our live action camera. It zooms right in on something that is happening right this very second. I mean, literally. Right now, I am talking to you, and you are listening. The action is unfolding as we speak. And this shows the difference perfectly. If I say, I play football, that's just a fact about me. It's a hobby. But if I say I am playing football, that means I'm on the field, cleats on, right now. One is a general state of being, the other is a live event in progress. Okay, but wait, just when you think it's all making sense, English loves to throw a little curveball. Turns out some verbs they really don't like that ing ending. So what's the deal with that? Well, these are called stative verbs. The key is right in the name. They describe a state, not an action. Think about it. You don't actively do knowing something, right? You just know it. It's a state of being. That's why we say I understand, not I am understanding. Now, some verbs can be tricky because they can be both. I think this is a good idea is a state of mind. But I am thinking about my vacation. That's an active process. It really all depends on the meaning. All right, so we've covered the here and now. But things get really interesting when the past has a direct link to what's happening today. And that brings us to our next section, the connected now. I love this quote because it really gets to the heart of what we're about to talk about. For our next two tenses, we're dealing with actions that happened in the past, but we don't care about when they happened. What we care about is the result, the consequence that we can see or feel right now. And this brings us to the present perfect tense. You can think of this one as our results camera. It totally ignores the specific time of a past event because its entire focus is on the effect that action has on the present. So check out this example. I have broken my arm. When someone says this, they're not telling you a story about a fall they took last week. They're explaining their current situation. The important information, the result, is that their arm is in a cast right now. A past action created a present reality. So here's a huge, critical rule to remember. Since the present perfect is all about present relevance, you absolutely cannot use it with finished time words like yesterday or last week. The moment you say yesterday, you're pinning the action firmly in the past. So you have to use the simple past tense. I saw him yesterday. Now for our final section. Let's really master this with the most detailed and powerful view of the present, where we shift our focus from just the result to the ongoing journey itself. And this is the present perfect continuous. Its entire job is to highlight an action that started sometime in the past and is still going on. The main focus here is all about the duration, the process, how long it's been happening. When you hear the example, she has been cooking since morning, you get a really clear picture, don't you? The action started in the past and it's still continuing right up to this moment. You can really feel the time that has passed. It emphasizes that ongoing journey. This table really just nails the final piece of the puzzle. Look at the difference. If you say, I've read the book, the focus is on completion. The result, a finished book. But if you say, I've been reading the book, the focus is on the ongoing activity itself. One is about the destination, the other is all about the journey. So when you're choosing between these two, here's the only question you need to ask yourself. Am I talking about the finished result or the ongoing process? If it's the result, you use the present perfect simple. If it's the process, you use the present perfect continuous. That's really the core difference right there. And there you have it. The 4 distinct lenses you can use to view the present, from simple, everyday facts to ongoing journeys that connect the past and the present. So as you think about all this, let me ask you, what have you been learning? Thanks so much for tuning in.